2 are highlighting things behind the scenes that keep the scene going because, as a matter of fact, Travis and Brent from Scum City Entertainment aren't exactly hidden, and we're going to find out why. And to quote our friend Bobby from Rival Booking, Scum City is popping right now. So without further ado, Travis, Brent, Scum City Entertainment. How you living, fellas?
Great. How are you?
Amazing.
Good. I'm feeling good that I'm with you guys, and I really mean that.
You nailed that intro.
Thank you, Brent. Every time I say Travis and Brent, I want to say Travis and Bob because there's a part in the first Beavis and Butthead movie where some old lady introduces Beavis and Butthead, and she fucks it all up and says Travis and Bob.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's like,
on the bus?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to start calling Brent Bob from now on.
well, Bobby from Rival Booking isn't exactly Bobby. He's Robbie, I guess, but somehow I messed it up, and I call him to this day Bobby. You know, I hope he doesn't mind, but it's a hard habit to break.
I'm sure he's cool. Yeah. Rob's a great guy.
I hope he's cool with it. If he's not, I'll change it. I'm happy to change it because I love him. Yeah. But so, okay. Do you want to just kind of intro anybody who's watching about what you do, what a promotions company does and everything for, anybody that's not clear?
So I mean, we're a little different than a lot of other promotions. Right now we just really book shows, but starting out, I mean, as I mentioned before, I don't know, I guess the intro we were talking beforehand, but, we had a few podcasts. One of them, we were with a, at-home studio. It's called River Scum. It's still on YouTube. And we had, similar to this one, but we'd have, a band, play a set and then interview them.
So cool.
And then we had the Scum Bucket, which was on Spotify, still on Spotify. It's just a 10-question interview after a show type of thing. And then we had the Scum City Spotlight, which is our least quality of that kind of thing, but it's also on YouTube. Then we had a... God, my brain's not braining. We have the online album review stuff, or had it at one time. I wanted to get a recording studio type of thing at one time and record bands. That never came about.
I was about to say you wanted to be a record company, didn't you?
Yeah, at first, and then it just ended up being a music promotion where we book shows, and then we also had Scumbag TV, which was a Jackass type thing, and that got deleted from the internet. I don't know. I shot a firework out my ass. It was great. But yeah, I mean, mostly we just we do shows, we promote shows, help friends get out there. Brent came in recently in September.
Yeah.
Or should I say Bob came in recently? This is Bob, not Brent.
It was late August, early September.
Yeah, something around there. And he's been helping out and booking his own shows and stuff under Scum City, of course, since he's part of the promotion now. And I've been mainly focusing on touring stuff, and I'm trying to get him comfortable with, being the Richmond guy. And then, he's working with Doomhauer and now Fupa Goddess, and, trying to get them on the road a little bit. But with being a promotion is all about, building the community and helping your friends, find bands you like, make friends in the scene, shout out Rival Booking, 804 Underground, two other Richmond promotions, which you had Rob on here recently. Yeah, man, I mean, I don't know, it's hard for me to put things into words just because I'm so out of it. And I don't know, but
it sounds like those words kind of translated to actions, and is the shows that we have,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's it's just it started out just something fun to do, and now we're taking it a bit more seriously than I originally was. You can, if you.
Well, but so Scum is unique though, because I have seen the word signed attached to you and the bands. Can you kind of explain what that means?
Yeah, so pretty much it just means that we specifically will do tours for these people, and we do tours for other bands as well, but it's under kind of a different deal type of thing, and we're not necessarily obligated to. I did a tour for a black metal band called Disenthralled not long ago, and I'm helping some others with some other things that I can't mention right now because it's not out. But yeah, I mean, it's primarily who we work with as far as, putting them out on the road. Cum Shot Wound. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I think so. I think it's okay.
Banana Slamma, Doomhauer, Fupagatas, Deluger, Trunk, Two-Door Room. If I'm missing somebody, I'm really gonna hate myself later. But I think
Doomhauer.
I said Doomhauer. Right?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Doomhauer, Fupagatas, Trunk,
Banana Slamma.
Yeah, I think I covered everybody. But yeah, that's that, as far as being signed is. I mean, it's no real contract. It's no, it's all DIY bullshit. It's like it's taken seriously enough to be a thing, But it's just the easiest way to announce that, hey, we're specifically working with these bands going forward, and we're more obligating ourselves to helping them. Not that we don't help other bands, but it's if they need something, we work with them first and put them first on the schedule, as far as like if somebody else were to ask for something around that time, like, oh, if we have availability, we'll help. But, say if Banana Slamma, Cum Shot Wound, and Trunk all have a tour within that same time, it's like I'll probably decline it, and maybe we'll work with you in the future.
Okay, so to kind of add to that, then your sort of like organizational structure, because it does sound very organized, very well oiled, and all that. Brent, I heard you say the other night it was at the Deluger. No, it was at the Doomhauer show. Was it it was at Doomhauer? I think.
Oh, okay.
One of the people in one of the bands that Scum represents was having a great time, okay?
Oh, yeah.
He's having a great time. And your comment was, hey, man, I got to manage you. But Scum does, in a way, almost manage the artist, right?
In a way, yeah. We, like he said, it's just mainly doing shows and tours and making sure they're all set straight and stuff like that.
If and anything that we can do to help point them in the right direction, type of thing. I mean, we're not, but so we're not big by any means, or at least in my eyes, because I see all these other people doing way bigger things than Scum City is, in my opinion. But if somebody needs like a advice or something, with my little grain of knowledge that I might have or Brent might have, it's like we can try to point them in the right direction of like, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? Type of thing. But it's mainly revolving around the touring structure and getting them out into other states and other scenes for the most part.
Okay. Do you think one of the reasons that Scum it seems to be as popular as it is with bands, because I do hear bands, talking about wanting to be on your roster, your list. I mean, Fupagatas sat here couple months ago and pretty much said just that, like, yeah, they kind of gave a rundown as to what their arrangement was with Scum City, and at that point it was like we're close to signing with them, or maybe it was Banana Slamma, but either, and it might have even been both. But do you think one of the reasons why there's a demand there is because of your branding? I mean, Scum seems to really do a very impressive job of yes, having your logo out there, having it in a lot of different places, flyers, social media, at shows and things like that. I mean, do you think that's one of the reasons why people want to be so closely aligned with you, is because of how well you advertise?
I would say so. Yeah. In a way.
Maybe it's because it's like an underground thing, like a city that you can't see, but like
we can keep it in. Shout out my wife Abby, she's in the background.
Yeah, shout it out. Do you want to? Well, you're dealing with Poseidon right there.
Well,
shout out Poseidon.
People feel there's this one story. I used to work at a bar, and we did a show there, and this veteran.
Wow.
As a PTSD, and then I saw this flyer.
Damn.
And I came to the show, and I've never felt more welcome anywhere in my life.
How do you deal with that? I mean, you hear somebody, a decorated veterans, talking about they were gonna, end it that night, and you had a direct hand in not having them end it.
I mean, it's really cool. I mean, obviously I'm glad that he was there and that helped him. But I mean, as far as like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, as far as like people like say wanting to be a part of what we're doing, I just, I don't strictly, in Brent's the same way, we don't strictly book hardcore. We don't strictly book punk. It's just kind of like all around, and it's we try to just be welcoming and help people that want to make music and get out there. And it's not like, a lot of other promoters. I mean, nobody that I know or work with specifically. I mean, I feel like Rival Booking and 804 Underground, all those other people in Richmond that we are somewhat connected with and friends with, they're kind of open as well. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just because we've branched out of Richmond a lot and are getting out more all around the East Coast. Another thing I've heard about our shows is apparently Scum City shows are a lot more violent than a lot of other promoters for some reason. I don't know why that is.
I remember me and you having that conversation, saying you were not scared in your life like that, how you were at the Camel.
I mean, there were a couple shows from like 100 years ago, like, when I was like really young, that, I was fearful at, but it had been a long time since feeling that again. And then as soon as Buck Goose, rest in peace, as soon as Buck Goose started playing, that feeling came back. Like, yeah.
That's all. That's
in a
all
way,
I
I
wanted.
took that as a compliment. Like, when every time I'm at a show, people will tell me that same exact thing, and I take it as the biggest compliment because I want that feeling of fear. Like, that sounds like a messed up thing, but like, I want it to be like something that no one's ever seen before, and they're like, "What the fuck did we just watch?" You know?
Yeah, because I mean, there's always like a choice, like where you're at in the crowd. I mean, I could have very well moved to the back. I could have moved to any place else, but I didn't.
Yeah, I broke my nose at this show. During like 15 minutes after Buck Goose ended during Deluger.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And I think Dakota from Lacking pointed out that 4 noses were broken that night.
Really?
Yeah, he counted 4.
Nice, dude. That's cool.
Yeah. And it must be something with the average like hardcore goer that maybe understands what they're getting themselves into, because the fourth person whose nose was just absolutely destroyed, he took a pretty big hit, but his reaction to it though was just kind of like, God damn, this happened again.
Yeah, sorry to the Camel. My blood, I think, is on the patio outside. But I was trying to get it to stop, and I came back in, and Bill from Banana Slam was standing next to me. He was like, "Oh shit, man, let me get you some tissues and whatever." He got me some napkins to kind of soak it up.
It kind of came full circle for him though, because when we were on stage, he was up there and said, "Ruined someone's fucking night," and then someone broke his fucking nose.
That's right. I remember that now. That's right.
It was fun. It's a good time.
Oh, man. Okay, so that makes me think of something pretty interesting, too, because you were putting on that show. You guys had to manage it. You had to watch over pretty much all aspects of it. How are you during that? Like, knowing that, like, things could go wrong, things could go, you hope for things to go right. What are you feeling at the start of the show and all the way to the end?
Numb and ready for the violence. I don't know. I mean, I early on, I was a lot more nervous than now, and now I realize going into it that pretty much every show something is going to go wrong at some point. It's almost guaranteed, and so I'm just waiting for that thing to happen and to get through it and move on. And I hope the show does well.
Both him and I are perfectionists too. Like, we'll go in it with our expectations really high, and sometimes it just won't be that way. But other than that, I mean, I love it.
Do you fill in any, maybe say, deficiencies that could take place like during the night? I mean, if there are certain things, that can't just like Travis can't get to them, can't handle them, or whatever. I mean, is that where you come in and kind of like save the day in a way?
Pretty much, yeah.
Really? Okay. So your roles though as Scum City are pretty similar, right? I mean, you're both kind of scouting for bands, you're both keeping your eyes open, managing the communications and all that.
He does more of the tour side of things. I do more of the local shows and local festivals. Like, we had one last year called the Harbor Fest, where it was a charity, and we donated $755 to that. I wanted to bring that up because that was just a big accomplishment I made.
Yeah.
But
that was his first show under Scum City. Actually, he booked it all by himself. That was his project there, his festival.
Nice. Is that the place? I've seen pictures of this like, it's like under a bridge. Is that
Yeah.
oh, okay. 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 So what is the reward then? Because I asked Bobby this. I was really interested. I was like, what is the big payoff for when you put the show on? Is it before and all the people that you get to talk to in the lead up, or is it afterward when it's all said and done? Like, what really is the juice of it all for you guys?
I would say before, when you just getting the community together and seeing everybody show up and saying hi and shit like that.
For me, it's a little bit of both. Before is nice because you get to get people involved, see, ask around, hunt around for weeks and whatever to get who you want on the bill, see who's available, who's not available. And then afterwards too, seeing all the people come out and everybody having a good time and hopefully the band's having a good show for that day, whether it be local or out of town. It's that the goal is always to make sure the bands have a good time. I mean, yeah, I'm not real big on like money, and I know, like I've told you this previously because you were talking about sending gas money. I was like, money's not real to me. Money doesn't matter. It doesn't. This is not. I don't care about any of that. But I do appreciate it. And say if the show does super fucking well and I'm able to keep $5, then that's cool. But I mean, the first 2 years of Scum City, I took absolutely nothing from the door. The goal is to look out for the bands, make sure they're accounted for, have what they need, and have a good show, and that's good enough for me.
Brent, where are you with that? Like, what are you looking at?
Pretty much the same way. I rather like the homies in the band get recognized and help in any way I can, and I try not to gain anything out of that. Really, money don't really mean anything to me either.
It really is the experience as a whole that drives you guys then?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm here for the tunes.
Okay. That's real. That sounds real. I don't take that as that's a cover or something like that. I get yeah.
I've always loved music. I mean, growing up as a kid, I was like a skater punk kid going around doing dumb stuff with my friends, and I always have some sort of heavy band in my fucking earbuds and skating around doing dumb shit, as I said. But this tracking a few years back before any of this started, I never thought that this is what I would be doing at this time in my life, but I thoroughly enjoy every part of it.
I would say the same thing. Like, if you told this to myself like 3 years ago, where I was just a terrible fucking kid, I would think you're fucking lying. But I just fell in love with it. The first ever local show I went to was actually something that he booked at a place called Crawl Space. And I tried to get my band, Stupid Dummy Bitches, shout out them.
Who is it?
Stupid Dummy Bitches. I'll dig into that later. But I tried to get them a show at the Crawl Space, and that didn't really go well. But I continued like helping the other bands set that up, and I just really liked that feeling of setting up the show and how good of a turnout it was and everything. And I wanted to continue doing stuff like that, and that's when I found him, and we just worked it from there.
We talked a little bit earlier about the demand and the buzz about Scum City. So what does a band have to do if they want to attract your attention and they want your help? Like, what impresses you about a band?
I've got multiple answers for that. One is just message us on Instagram or through our email, SCUMCITYENTERTAINMENT@gmail.com. But DM on Instagram or email, just say what you want to do. My big thing is, I've had a bunch of people message and it's like, hey, can I play this? And word your messages well. If you're sending something and you want to get onto something, don't just be like, hey, can I play this? Be like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I do this. Here's a link. Here's a reference. This is what we want to do. Maybe have a range of dates, and as far as, say what could grab attention is, make sure any shows that you have played beforehand, you're actively promoting it. You're actively being involved and not just like, oh, share the flyer once and, oh, that's good enough for me, because that's like, I've seen a lot of bands do that, and there's, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it will certainly grab somebody's attention if they see you actively promoting the show and see that you care, and that's a big thing for me.
I would say the same thing.
Yeah, it seems like in this day and age, there is more of a cooperation between the whatever the entity is up on top that's responsible for helping to push a band. In this case, it's Scum City Entertainment. For bands, it might be, the label. For somebody like me, it's the bands too. And what I mean by this is that I think, back in the day, it was like, all right, the record company will handle everything. They'll handle all the promotions. You just, band member, you just get out there on stage and that's it, play a good show. But nowadays, it seems like, that just like you said, you would hope that the band is also going to promote things despite having, Scum City be, their engine behind it all. You would hope that the band would also promote, share stuff, sticker, flyer, all that kind of stuff. And so is that really that's really important then to say the turnout of a show or,
Yeah, I mean, I would say so because Scum City has our following on Instagram, but people don't follow us just because we're Scum City. It's like nobody's gonna come to the show to see us. They're coming to see the bands that we book, and the band's following that is on the show might follow us, but more than likely they follow the band, and it's very important that the band, we promote everything the best as we can. We're not just. Like, I know some promotions put out a show and then don't share it, but I try to, I run the Instagram account. He also has it, he's active on there as well. But, yeah, it's like, it's one thing if the promoter shares it. I feel like it means a lot more if the band is actively sharing it and getting out to their fans and telling them to come to the show, because that's what matters. As I said, nobody's coming there to see us. So it's if the band is like, hey, come to the show, and they're actively promoting it, and that'll attract more of a crowd to come see them, and that's what's important.
Have you guys had people at shows approach you and say like, "Oh shit, you're like Scum City"?
Yeah, a few times.
How did that feel?
I mean, it felt pretty good actually getting recognized, because me and him been just trying to assert ourselves the best we can, but like he said, we rather that the bands get recognized more than we do, pretty much.
Yeah, I bring that up because Bobby texted me the other day and he said, "Hey, he's like somebody came up to me. He had the show at Banditos. Oh shit, who played that show? A bunch of bands. I think like Lay Waste played. Anyway, he's like, "Hey, I just had a kid come up to me and say, hey, you're Bobby from I saw you on the podcast." And that was the funniest thing.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I've had people come up. I mean, most of the time, I've been so active with it that like a lot of the friends I've made. I mean, a lot of the friends I have now outside of like my close personal friend group, I've made through doing shows and stuff. I feel like more recently I've been recognized by Buck Goose, and it's the same guy, and he's been at like a few Scum City shows, and like he just calls. He's like, "Oh, hey, there's Mr. Goose." And I'm like, "Just God."
I'm not gonna lie.
We played 6 shows.
It's the same way with me too. That I keep getting recognized for Buck Goose more than Scum City now, just because of how historic we made it and how deep into it we went. But I mean, I've got recognized for that too, and it's a really, really good feeling. Like people knowing who you are and stuff.
I think had I not known you guys from Scum City, I would have definitely remembered you based on that one Buck Goose show alone. Like that was not going away,
That was majority improv, the whole set. None of that was like written and practiced.
We didn't practice or anything, just all in one take.
One of the things I thought was so cool about that was how you used Jonas's yes. Okay, but I think that you didn't use it correctly.
I did not. What happened was all the guitar people know on an amp head there's a distortion channel and a clean channel. I was on the clean channel, and all that overdrive and fuzz effects were going through the clean channel, and it was combining and making this really like shit sound. I didn't have it set up correctly, but I mean, and some songs sounded good. I'm gonna lie.
I'm not making this up. I intended to message you about that to tell you, hey man, just to let you know, whatever that snafu was last night sounded like awesome, but I didn't because I'm like, I'm not a musician, so what do I know? But I really wanted to message you and be like, hey, that sound probably contributed, I think, at least to my fear factor. It was very unsettling
Oh,
and
that's
like,
awesome.
yeah. No, that was quite
Yeah.
a show. Dude, I took a spin kick from somebody like
Oh,
into
I
the
saw that.
did you
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks. I lived with that like 3 weeks.
I
Oh my
saw that and I
God.
was like, God damn.
Happens, I guess. Yeah, how are you with that? I mean, during a show, do you ever look out and see, oh shit, this is getting a little bit out of hand or anything like that?
A lot of people aren't going to like this answer. I I love to encourage violence at our shows, but like to an extent. I mean, if somebody doesn't want it, then like stand in the back.
Well, if
You
it's
know,
like
but
intentionally going and hurting someone when they don't want it, we don't fuck with that.
yeah, but maybe don't target people. But like
Yeah.
if you're in that edge, you know, in that circle, that's the danger zone, and I feel like most people in the scene know that. But I mean, if you're new to a show, you know, and just say if you're watching this, you know, take this into account, and you know, maybe stand a little farther back if you don't want to get hit. You know, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's not like the goal of it all, but like ultimately it happens, you know, but I, you know, and this goes back to, you know, Scum City shows tend to get violent. I kind of like to push the limits. I like the violent aspect of these type of shows. I feel like it can be a stress release for a lot of people, myself included. As I'm getting older, I don't get into the pit a lot. But you know, I mean, things can certainly get out of hand, but I've never had to personally deal with that. You know, I've never been in a situation where I've been like, oh, this has to chill out, because generally the people that are getting hit are there to, you know, be a part of that.
I've been messaged about something like that probably one time. I won't dig too much into it, but like they told me that like somebody got kicked in the stomach or something like that, but then I was like, where were you standing at? And they were like right in the middle, and I was like, I mean, you were in the danger zone. There's not really much I can do or say about that.
Be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that the word violence may have a different understanding and definition to the showgoer. I mean, you know, we could talk about violence as many different things, a fight
course.
out on the street, you know,
Yeah.
whatever it is, a robbery, something like that. But I think a lot of people going to shows understand that the kind of violence that they are going to witness, maybe even be a part of, is not the same as some sort of a heinous act or something. So in that regard, it's probably okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're targeting somebody, it better be like your friend, you know, because I mean, the only people I will like intentionally crowd kill are my friends that I know that are okay with it, you know.
We beat the shit out of each other at every show we're at.
But other than that, I mean, if you're just going up and punching somebody in the nose that you don't know, and that you think that you don't know if they might not be okay with something like that, and like, yeah, that's a little out, you know, out of range. But overall, I mean, I feel like a lot of people that come to our shows have an understanding, and if you're new to it, you know, as I said, I suggest maybe stand in the back if you don't want to get hit.
It always goes back for me to this death threat lyric. It's don't want to get hit, don't stand in the front, cry when you do, you're nothing but a
Accurate. Very
makes
accurate.
so much sense. Makes so much sense. Has crowd killing changed over the years? Because I used to understand crowd killing as, yeah, it's somebody coming from the left to the right to fucking, you know, that thing. Now, what I feel like I see a lot is the kind of leaping into the wall, and it slaps the wall. So it's sort of like a, you know, if you're standing there and you're seeing someone coming at you, to do that, like, yeah, it's scary. I saw it a lot the other night at your show, and I was scared. But thankfully, in many of those cases, there's this leap at the last second, and a hand would slap the wall. I mean, it was like, is crowd killing like taken different forms over? Yeah.
I would say so. I was talking to my mom actually about it the other day, and she said like her version of moshing back then was way different than what it is now. Because if you saw like a Woodstock '99 or something, people were just pushing each other around and shit, and now it's like people intentionally running up and just Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the old school crowd killing is still there. I feel like they've reinvented a new form of it for like the newer kids out here doing it, and they're maybe they're trying to be a little more mindful, which is cool. But there's push pits, circle pits, people doing karate, all that stuff, and ultimately, I mean, there's different forms of moshing in every term, and everybody, I guess, has a different way of doing
At
it.
Street Beast, we had people doing backflips.
Yeah. At the Street Beef show that we did, there was one of the fighters got into the pit and he was fucking doing flips and all this crazy shit. He was in the fucking the MMA little shorts and shit, kind of dancing around.
And he was like shadow boxing and stuff.
What was the crowd's reaction to that, though? Knowing that somebody was there that actually specializes in martial arts and combat and everything, but everybody else, though, are usually badasses too in their own way. I mean, I look at a lot of people moshing and I'm like, that's a bad motherfucker right there. Even if it's somebody that out on the street you wouldn't think is all that dangerous, but get them in the pit and they're insane. But like, what do you think those, let's say, pit experts thought of somebody else who may not be at a show all the time, but he can still, kick some ass?
Well, that day, people tried to steer clear of him.
Yeah, I feel like people were keeping their distance a little bit, but I mean, people still got in with him. It wasn't just him in there, but
yeah,
it was
because like 30 minutes ago, we saw him in the cage just beating the shit out of somebody. So like everybody was trying to steer clear of him.
You have another show that's similar to that format, I think, coming up this summer, right? Filth Fest?
Yeah, it's a deathmatch wrestling type of thing as opposed to like MMA.
Why? I've been wondering about this. I have seen a lot of wrestling fandom in the Richmond scene, and it was never really like that, at least for me coming up. But I saw Dakota had, I think, like an Austin 316. Dakota from Lacking had an Austin 316 shirt on. Travis from Pift and the Get Off had something to do with like wrestling on, and somebody else the other night at the show. And
before the Delusion set, we played the Degeneration X theme song.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
What is it about wrestling that's so strange to me? Because wrestling growing up was always like more for like white trash and like that sort of stuff.
It still is a little bit.
Okay.
I love wrestling, so that's me calling myself that.
We both do. That's how we bonded at first with the wrestling.
I'm a little kid. I collect wrestling figures for fun.
Okay. And
I'm a child at heart.
Do you think that it's the similarity between wrestling in the ring and the pit? I mean, is that what maybe some of your attraction is?
I don't know if that necessarily is like connected with each other. I've certainly met a lot of people that like metal and hardcore and slam and stuff that enjoy wrestling as well. But I think it just might be the form of like brutality behind it, of like, people are essentially beating the shit out of each other, and then it can, I see the connection. But I don't know particularly if it's like, related. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of wrestling fans that are into metal as well, I think.
And there's people that dress up as wrestlers too.
Really?
Yeah. At one show, I can't remember which one it was, but I saw somebody come in an Ultimate Warrior outfit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did he like just run? Really? Yeah.
He was running back and forth and shit. It was awesome.
Wow. Do you think like hardcore more than other scenes is accepting of that kind of thing? Because I saw I can't even describe this girl's like outfit, but it was a half. She was wearing a mask first off, right? This was at this is at the Green Tips, Lacking, and a few other bands show at Bum Rush. One of the last shows they did at Bum Rush. And there was a girl there dressed up in some sort of like otaku, real kind of like anime type thing. And, she was having a great time. And I thought it was a statue at first. Like when I walked in, because, she was like stone and everything. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Bum Rush has like this,
Yeah.
And then she moved and I was like, oh, shit. But I don't know if she would have been as welcomed or accept. And it was a girl because she took off her mask later and everything. But I don't know that like other genres would be as welcoming or as accepting, as hardcore is. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, so when you say hardcore, do you just mean like metal?
No.
'Cause I saw in another interview that you did that you kind of mixed the genres as well.
Yeah,
You said
yeah,
the
yeah.
hardcore scene, it's kind of like all around. The only reason I ask that is because I feel like, especially the Richmond hardcore scene, is a little cliquey,
Really?
specifically pertaining to hardcore. And I'm not calling out anybody. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But certain people have their scenes and they stick within their scenes and they don't necessarily branch out to grind or slam or punk. It's hardcore or nothing, or punk or nothing, or slam or nothing.
A lot of people don't like to mix their genres at all.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people that do. There's plenty of people that don't have a problem with it. But I just since I've been here and been doing this, I've noticed similarities between some people.
Is that maybe why you and also Bobby, and I'm not sure too much about 804 Underground, but I suspect that it could be along the same lines. But is that why maybe you guys are so popular with your shows? Because Two to a Room is kind of old school gutter punk. Delusion is. I had not heard anything like Delusion before. They're like a crusty slam.
Yeah, they're unique.
Yeah. Doomhauer, like straight slam and stuff. And you put these bands on the same bills sometimes, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, if you're okay with playing a mixed bill, I mean, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like mixed bills because it's not all the same thing. But I feel like, sometimes, I'm not saying any band is boring or anything like that. But if it's every single genre is the same. I mean, if they're, it depends on the sound, and I'm not saying this for every single show, but after a while, it's like kind of almost sounds like the same song over and over and over and over. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not saying that about any particular band, but like, yeah, I mean, all slam bills, all hardcore, all punk bills. I mean, I will still book that too, but it's. There's like a different feeling with like a slam punk hardcore bill that it's it's a little bit of a difference, and it's a change throughout the night. And as I said, some people don't like it. I fuck with it. I think it's cool, and if bands are willing to do that, then yeah, let's put them all
And
on
I
a
think
bill.
from an audience point of view, it would be like really interesting to see like those genres together as well. Because like Doomhauer has a really good fan base, Two to a Room has a really good fan base, and if we put that together, I feel like people would think that's a really unique type of thing.
I mean, as a showgoer, I've witnessed
Yeah.
it myself. People that I would not think would like one band, and when I say like, I mean like they're out there in the pit. They're showing their
Yeah.
appreciation for it. People that I would not think, somebody like a youth crew type, like hardcore kid out there in the pit for a slam band, which I can understand because there's a lot of similarities between, kind of. Let's just say like tough guy style hardcore, Death Threat, Blood for Blood, that kind of stuff. I mean, rhythmically, I think that and slam really similar, maybe just the difference is like it's the guitar tones, it's the vocals, maybe like, so I can understand that. But it's funny sometimes to see, let's say, hardcore kids, straight traditional hardcore kids that are moshing for like a black metal band, like you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't normally.
Two very different genres.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that started though. I realized it in like the early around 2003 when like hardcore kids, really started embracing death metal, and that's when I think like Internal Bleeding started to become popular in hardcore and stuff. But
Yeah.
so you do try though to do mixed bills if you can.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like I unintentionally do it, but 'cause I just like these bands, and I'm like, oh, this would be cool if they played together, Who
The
cares,
blame can't
right?
be all on him because I mix my shows a lot too. I mix the genres a lot. Because like with me, I don't really have a preference with it, even though I need to get better at that. Because like some bands will have like a preference. Like if a hardcore band's touring through, they only want to play with hardcore bands. They don't want to play with slam or whatever.
Yeah, and I get that. I understand. That's cool because I mean, some bands may try, they may be trying to, carve their niche. Really kind of show people who they are, and they don't want to be associated with, let's say, a doom band. Like or a sludge band or something. When they're straight hardcore.
They want to just stick to their live to that genre of music. My
and
opinion.
I don't know how helpful that may be long term because it's like, I mean, the band can do whatever they want. I'm not in a band, so I can't speak on the intentions of bands starting out and everything. But like, I just look at it as, you play to a different crowd than you had planned for, and maybe that crowd likes it, so therefore, you have growth and stuff like that. But again, though, I mean, if a band is trying to only live within one lane, like I respect that. That's totally cool.
Yeah, because we've had like I was telling him, we've had bands that came through that wanted only like hardcore bands on their bill.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing to, want to play with the same people. I mean, it's as I said, not going back to me saying like it can get, a little boring in my opinion, but that's not always the case. I mean, if you have a different sound, if you're a hardcore band with another hardcore band and y'all don't sound the same, then it's not going to have that effect. But if you get a bunch of bands together that really kind of have the same vibe to them, then it's like, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a good show. And everybody that's coming, if they like one band, they're going to like all the bands. But I think putting a little slam in there, a little touch of this, touch of that, it can make a big difference. And like, say somebody is like saw two bands and the next one's about to start. It's like, oh, I kind of, I don't know, I might want to leave. And then they hear dun, 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 some crazy riff. And they're like, oh, this is a little different. Maybe I'll stay for them.
For example, the Bandito show, we had, you were there. It was the Hananaki one, Doomhauer, Polluted Tongues, and...
Shout out Polluted Tongues. All of them, but I'm wearing that Polluted Tongues hat. So.
What was the last band I had? Oh, Not One of Them. And they were all different genres, and you saw how much people loved that.
Yes, they were. I mean, Polluted Tongues was kind of like esoterically heavy, maybe you could say, and then Hanahaki was a lot more technical.
They covered Meshuggah at a show. I don't know if they did that one. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, they did two covers. I'm pretty sure, didn't they?
Yeah, they did too. And I was telling Travis from Heavy as the Head the other night, because I don't think he went to that show, but he had heard about it. And I was saying that, like, because he said, yeah, they played a Meshuggah song, and I was standing like really up close, so I couldn't really hear. I couldn't decipher all that well what the song was. But then all of a sudden I heard the disciple like part. It's like, oh yeah, that's a Meshuggah song, Yeah. And then who else was on the? Not One of Them. Not One of Us.
Not one of them.
Not One of Them. They were really cool. They were. I was standing close again, so I couldn't. They were pretty straight hardcore. I think, or almost kind of beatdownish.
I would say beatdown.
Yeah,
I saw somebody interviewed them not long ago, and I saw like them talking about it, and they were talking about they kind of. Yeah, I'm not speaking for them. By any means, I've seen them a couple times. They're a new band, but it seems like they're just kind of like writing stuff, and whatever comes out. From what I understood from the interview that somebody else did with them. So they're just heavy, I guess.
Wow. Okay, that's really interesting, because I wouldn't have taken that from what I saw. I would have thought they were pretty linear, but that's really cool to know, though.
Yeah. It's definitely it's cool. I think when bands do that, it's unique because you don't set yourself down with one genre. It's like, oh, we'll have a hardcore song, we'll have a slam song, we'll have this, we'll have that. It's cool to see.
Have you guys booked Paradiso at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Paradiso is kind of like that. I witnessed them the one time I saw them. I heard them like huddling beforehand. They're like, all right, what songs are we going to play tonight? This is a metal show, so we should play these songs, And I don't think all the time they would identify themselves as like, we are a straight like metal band, but it was really cool to like hear them plotting. And it's like, okay, we can pull from this material that we have. This will be more, warmly accepted because this is the type of show like that we're playing and stuff.
Yeah, Paradiso is dope. I like booked them in their early years, and then I saw them recently. And it's like such a change, you know. And it's cool. It's still all the same guys that were in there years ago when I was booking them at Black Iris, or you know, other venues and stuff. But like around when they were first, I think when they were first starting out, maybe I'll be corrected. I don't know, but they were newer, I think, at the time, and they were still, you know, I have their very first demo actually in my van outside from one of those shows. Because I saw them in December, and it was like such a change, and it was, you know, it was the first time I saw Phil in at least a year or two. It was good to see those guys, but it's cool to see how they've evolved from what they were. Not that what they were was, you know, bad, worse than what they are now or anything. All of it is good, you know. But it's just cool to see like the evolution of bands and as they progress and become what they are today, kind of thing. You know, because everybody's constantly evolving and perfecting their craft. You know, it's Paradiso is one of those bands I think about. That's like they've definitely like been working hard, very very hard on what they're doing, and they take it seriously. And it's cool to just see everything that bands like that are doing. You know.
You've probably seen a lot of that, though. I mean, with the bands that you've booked, you know, over the years and stuff, you've probably seen development, like, you know, outside of Paradiso and everything. I mean, how has that been watching any band? If you have, like, watched any bands, like, morph or try to kind of branch out?
Cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool watching them evolve from one sound into another.
Yeah, like Two-Door Room is another one I think about. That the first time I saw them, it was at like a house show, and they were only playing covers. They were playing like kind of like some old punk covers and stuff. And now before they had, I want to say maybe they had one original song at the time. This was, you know, years ago now, maybe 2 or 3, and you know, now they've got, you know, multiple fucking singles, EPs, whatever. They've got a whole bunch of shit out. They've got new songs. Like every time I see them, they play something new. And yeah, you know, I think they're going for more of a hardcore approach. They went from like punk to like they're like getting a little more heavier. And you know, they're one of the other bands I think about then. I mean, unfortunately, you know, especially, you know, how Buck Goose went, you know, a lot of bands come and go pretty quick. You know, they'll play a number of shows and break up and start something else and do the same thing. And, you know, it's cool when you can see a band that's been around for years and they're still going. You know, it's shit ends too quickly in a lot of cases, I think.
So what's your advice then for bands to just to make an impression in the scene and those that want to have a good time? And what's your advice for just a really positive experience for the lifetime of a band?
Start a band with your friends, people you get along with. Don't make the mistake of starting a band with some shit talker that wants to, you know, be about himself or I don't know. I mean, just find people you like and people that you know you're going to get along with and people that you could see yourself being in a band with for multiple years to come and not just trying it out because somebody's down to do it.
And make sure it's not one-sided and one person's calling the shots, like everyone on the same page. Because I've been in groups where it's very one-sided and it's only one person calling the shots and no one else. Like, I want this riff to sound like this. I want these drums to sound like this. I'm a team player, like with him and Stupid Dummy Bitches, and yeah, that's my take.
You brought that up before, and you promised to kind of talk about him a little bit.
So, Stupid Dummy Bitches is a shout out Nam, my best friend. We're kind of like the genre speaks for itself. We're gonna have more stuff coming up soon. I don't really want to like dig too much into it. It teases a lot away, but we're planning to come back 2026 and play some sounds probably no one's ever heard before, play some crazy shit, live up to the name. We have a crazy like set plan too and stuff like that.
Any kind of this is the crazy question now. All right, so we saw the I'm not going to call it wasn't a demise because I think Buck Goose went out with a bang.
It went out the way it was supposed to go out.
Did it really go out?
It's gone forever. No more Buck Goose. There is another project in the ether. You know, it may come about, may not. But yeah, Buck Goose is done. No, there's no more Buck Goose.
That's fucking cool. Not that no Buckers. No, not that, not that. I'm saying like that may come out, may not. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it just seeing what happens. We got some people together.
Whatever's in the ether may have some hint of goose in it. May have some goose violence in it.
That's so cool.
Oh man, you'll understand when it happens if it happens. I'll explain
getting
further.
Feeling right now, like over the years, there were certain bands that gained themselves reputations for being. It always seems to be the same. Yeah, their shows are really violent, but I mean, there were certain bands though that, like, yeah, they were very like violent, like Bad Luck 13, Riot Extravaganza, Bury Your Dead started out. I mean, I witnessed this myself. Okay. Where I'm from, up in New Hampshire, I mean, Bury Your Dead got that reputation right out of the gate. So much so, and I'm okay with saying this, right? Because I mean this, right? I never went to a Bury Your Dead show up there because all my friends did, and I'm like, fuck that. Why would I go to that? Why would I go to that when I know exactly what's going to happen every time? It's a bloodbath and everything, and places get torn, apart. And I was like, no, that's okay, And then another band I heard about from around here that's also you might want to watch out is Restrictor Plate.
Man, I almost wore their shirt today. Actually, Restrictor Plate is so dope. They're definitely if you want to get your ass beat, go to one of their shows.
Yeah. So they're like one of those bands too.
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, they're. I've been to a few of their gigs, and it's one of them was Rob from Rival Booking. He booked them at Gallery 5, sold out the fucking venue. Yeah, it's nuts, dude. I feel like the people that go to those shows intentionally, like, of course they like the music, but like they're going to have an excuse to beat the shit out of somebody. It seems like that gets crazy at Restrictor Plate shows.
That is a really crazy thing that you bring up because I think it shows the difference in mindset between types of people. I just sat here and said, yeah, I'm not going to Bury Your Dead because I'm going to get, beat up. And you just brought up the many types of people at hardcore shows that want to go there to beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't think about like, oh, I might be on the receiving end. And if they are, they don't care,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that mindset. I mean, as I said, when I was a little younger, I mean, not that I'm that old now, but skateboarding kind of brittled my bones down. So I kind of, I don't get in the pit too much, but I mean, when I was younger, it's like not that I'd go out to target anybody, but like it's a good way to like let some rage out, and kind of flail around and
he's
maybe
very
hit somebody.
good at it. I went to the skate park with him before one of our shows at Super Rad, and he was going crazy, and you'd look at him and not think he could like do the shit he could do on a skateboard, but he can.
I'm not as good as I once was,
but still able to impress Brent.
It's fun. It's fun to do sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably be pretty impressed too. Yeah. Well, hell, I mean, I think we covered a good amount here, but I got to imagine there may be some stuff you feel is left unsaid at this point, or maybe there isn't. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Oh man, I want to bring that up. We have Poseidon in the house with us.
Can we bring the dog out?
Yeah.
Bring the dog out.
Yeah.
Oh, Abby's making an appearance too. No? Hand me the dog.
I always say if anything, we got to go potty. If anything, in this place gets broken or fucked up or something like that, the way I look at it is like, well, shit happens, like better to, I mean, that couch right there, that Travis is sitting on, there's this like schmeg or schmudge or whatever you want to call it.
Banana Slammer?
Yeah, it's from Banana Slammer. Yeah. And
man.
Oh no, it's like right underneath you.
I can smell it.
But I left it there because I'm like, no, that's like a memory. That's like a big part of this place now. So yeah, I'm leaving it. I mean, Banana Slammer, they brought bananas in. They got some on the couch. I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving that. That's staying.
Hell yeah.
And it lets me explain to people like that story. So
if we're closing out, I could tease some stuff coming up in the Scum City world. So for the summer, What the Fuck Fest 2 is playing with 804 Underground. Shout out them. We have in the works, me and Jonas from Doomhauer are setting up a fest called Uncle Slam. We're thinking about changing it to Woodstock 69. No, Slamstock 69. The Filth Fest, Scum City Slam, but that's his thing.
That might not happen this year. I don't know. It might not. I don't know.
All that sounds exciting as hell. It really does. And I say that without an ounce of bullshit because I've already seen what the Scum brand pumps out, and it's fun. It's fun to experience. It's fun to see, like in a flyer. It's fun to see people reacting to it. So I look at that with a lot of genuine excitement. I really do.
We're here for the music. We're here for the consensual violence. And it's all about having fun. It's nothing is about us. It's all about the bands. It's all about the community. It's all about our friends that we make and getting them to where they want to be.
And why not?
Yeah.
And why not? Well, Travis and Brent, thank you guys so much. I really do mean that. Not just saying that, because I love being able to show things besides just the bands, but the important things underneath that really, just like you said, prop the bands up, and goddamn, where can people find you?
Instagram. Really, it's Scum City Entertainment on Instagram. We have a Facebook too. I'm real bad at responding on that because I don't use it as much. He also has his personal page that can be reached.
RUKK64 on Instagram. That's the only way you can find me on there.
But yeah, message Scum City Entertainment. Email us at scumcityentertainment@gmail.com. If you want to get on a show, work on a tour, if you want to bullshit around, we sell you pictures of my feet, and anything's on the table.
God damn. All right. Well, hell, I mean, every single episode, I always say the same thing. I'm like, well, I didn't really come up with a way to end this. I don't know how I'll get to it, but now I'm starting to think this is my ending right here. Just this excuse. So, Travis, Brent, Scum City Entertainment. It has been an honor. Fucking A, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Ah.